Okay, so Everton still have not named a replacement for Koeman. It's been nearly a month. David Unsworth is in a catch-22. The players are returning from international duty and a little possibly, if they're not on international duty, a short break. They're coming back. Is he going to be coaching this weekend? No one has a clue. They've been rejected by Allardyce, they've been rejected by Sean Dyche at Burnley, Silva at Watford. Allegedly, they've been turned down by Atletico Madrid to talk to Diego Simeone, which Everton, I don't think they've got that kind of financial reach. There are issues with the ownership of the club, there is issues with the finances and the debt. They have... Basically, it's a perfect storm. Because nothing seems to be... The cogs of ground will hold. Just give the job to Unsworth, it is simple. I don't understand it. Whatever manager comes in, they're going to be able to do nothing with the transfer window anyway until January. So they've got a month and a half of stagnation anyway, regardless. There are other issues. The fact that Burnley turned it down. There's got to be a reason why Burnley turned it down, so they wouldn't even allow them to talk to Dyche. Because Burnley are operating on a very small budget. By even championship standards, they're operating on a shoestring. So there's issues there. Fans are getting really disgruntled now. I've seen references to how Bill Kenwright has basically just tried to keep the team relevant and mid-table, has racked up debts. They haven't replaced key players, so transfer policies go to be questioned. Who's in charge of it? There are so many issues with this football club that are coming to light, and it's not just they've been slowly declining over the years. That happens with clubs. They will go through patches of form like that, or just not being very good. I look at other leagues and other sports, and certain teams have, go through this kind of form. And some of them will struggle for 10, 15... It's a rebuild job, basically. If this was the NHL or the NFL, where there's no relegation, okay, which is not a worry, and the team haven't performed for a couple of years, they get draft picks, so they can pick up the best talented young players for cheap. Put them aside. They can trade and they can rebuild the squads and rebuild the teams by swapping older players for other players and basically building a new squad around a core. They can basically, chop and change. And there's also a salary cap, so salaries are limited to how much you can pay. Now, football's different in Europe. We have relegation. Now, that is a worry for every Everton fan, and the club is going down. I don't see them going down. I think they've got a bit too much talent to go down, but there's a lot of issues to work on, especially defensively. And goal scoring. There's across the whole field. Balance of the side needs to be just looked at and adjustments made tactically. And I think David Unsworth is possibly the right guy for at least a temporary job till the end of the season. Going forward, long term, the club has problems. The fact they haven't named a manager and it's been nearly a month is very unusual. Every other team in the Premier League that sacked a manager this season named a manager within a week. Longest being a week, and that was at Leicester. West Ham was 6 hours. Crystal Palace was 2 days. They were decisive and quick acting in their replacement and were allowing the interim manager, the caretaker, to have a couple of games, which I think happened at Leicester. But they were very quick in the transfer of power. This is now lingering and dragging, and it's a problem. It's an issue going forward. The fans are getting disgruntled. I've seen a lot on the social media side, and people have commented on posts, on videos I've done here and on Twitter. There is a big disgruntling amongst the fans. They're indifferent to Unsworth. Some are like, oh God, really? Okay. Others are like, he's a club man. Give him the reins. That's not the issue. They're getting very disgruntled with the management, backroom staff, like the ownership of the club. They're very disgruntled with the previous managers, Moyes and co. They're worried about the managers they're being linked to being the wrong type of the culture of the club and where the club wants to be. A lot of fans are writing off their season because they could do really well in the FA Cup for all we know. They could do really well in the FA Cup, get the final as a shock, because the FA Cup can do that, win the trophy. It's plausible. It is plausible. Portsmouth did it and they were a shocking league team. It is plausible they could win the FA Cup. Any Premier League side could win the FA Cup this season. It is highly plausible. Wigan did it and they got relegated, so bear that in mind. That's a chance for Silva. They should actively aim to try and gain league form by using the FA Cup to gain some form and gain confidence. But that's another story for another day. But this lack of decisiveness is worrying, and the Paradise Papers leak shows up there are issues, question marks about the ownership of the club, where the money comes from. I'm not going to go into details about that. If you have watched the Panorama investigation, we've seen it. If you haven't, please watch it. It is vital that you do, because it does mention this, not for very, very long, but in the programme it does mention it. It does come out. It is on the BBC News website, it's on the Sky Sports News website, it is in the public domain. That's another issue for the club. There's lots of things wrong. I'm going to leave that there. I want to hear from Everton fans. I want to hear from football fans across all clubs about how well your club is run, or how badly. If you want to see a well-run club, and you're going to be surprised by what I say, it's not a Premier League club. It's not a Championship club. It's not even a League One club. We've got to go down to the depths of League Two, the murky depths of the 4th tier, and Exeter City are apparently, according to looking at income and outgoing, fan reaction, fan involvement, Exeter City is the best run club. Almost gone bust, saved by the fans, had the same manager for a decade, has regained stability, and is actually looking quite likely to getting out of League Two with their league form. They could get into playoffs or promotion directly into League One. Now, that is a blueprint of how to run a football club. They live within their means. They are slowly redeveloping their stadium, very slowly, and again within their means, no rush. They're not completely obliterating it. That's how to run a football club. And a lot of people go, what? Exeter City? But they are. It is being proven. Journalists have gone round. Accountants have got articles written about it. A lot of away fans who go to Exeter say that they really do have a great atmosphere down there. They're seeing the players, when they give interviews to the local press or the national press, depending on the game, have nothing but positive stories to say. The fact the manager's been there for a decade says something. So there you go. A lot of clubs could learn from Exeter. Now, the fans have a lot of ownership involvement. I think they actually, the fans themselves, own the club, or have a large stake in the running of the club. I'm not 100% sure on the model, but it seems to work with fan involvement. It works a lot better than what you see in the Premier League. The club, I think, has got rid of all its debts, or is nearly debts, has got debts that are serviceable and it can cope with. So there you go. But I'm going to leave that there. I've gone long enough. I've gone longer than I wanted to. Please post your comments below. Please like and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. I'll have some more videos for you soon.